everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Tech Shaman Show. And we were both looking at our phones. We're like,
oh, well, that's the whole point, right? We're looking at our tech.
You guys wait right there while we finish our tweets.
Yes. Hold on, everybody. You know, we need more. We need everybody to get on here. We got some pretty important stuff to say. You know. We're hitting up our contacts.
Hi. How are you? How's everybody going?
Yeah.
So, did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
Yeah.
Were you on a cruise?
No. Okay. No, I didn't go on a cruise.
Okay. I know you're the cruise dude.
No, I had a good weekend though. Yeah. Cooked a little bit on the grill. Some prices came down on some meats, and you had to grab, you know. Those,
that's a great thing.
Got some, you know.
That is a
ribeyes.
Great thing.
Ribeyes were $8.99 a pound.
What?
Yeah, over at Winn-Dixie. The good stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, that's that grade 4 meat. You got to be careful with them. I'm just telling you right
now.
No,
you know, look, you know what you need to be careful with? You need to be careful with that, you know, the big W meat. You know, the Wally World.
It's all grade 4 anyway. Yeah. So that's funny. So, dude, a lot's been going on in the tech world.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually, we have a lot. The show's loaded today, and it's just the amount of stuff is amazing. It's crazy. I'm really bright on my camera. I don't want people to think I'm smarter than I am. Right? That's the way I look at it. All right.
Brightness is, just shows how smart we are.
I know. So we're going to jump.
I'm so bright, I'm squinting.
There you go. I got to wear shades, man. So Intel reveals the specs of its new Arc graphics card.
This is going to be great. Yeah.
Now, is this powered by Intel? Intel?
Intel's basically making their own GPU. This has been something that's been in the works for a while. They wanted to kind of compete with AMD and NVIDIA. And, they show to have some good specs, but remember, between just having a graphics processor.
Oh my God!
That
look at the cores in that is amazing.
It is ridiculous, isn't it? Running now they're running DDR6.
So wait a minute. So you can either get 8 gigs or 16 gigs, or is that a split system?
No. I mean the video RAM's going to be together, but it's the thing that gets me is, in order for this unit to perform well in, for instance, games.
Yeah.
And I'm talking games that are made not the web-based games. Okay.
Oh no.
Not Fortnite, not Minecraft and stuff like that. But the games, A+ titles, that come down. You need to watch. Developers really need to get on board with the architecture and the coding needed for these particular units. So at first they might come out, you might think, wow, let's go grab one. But you might want to sit back and just watch these for a little while and see how they perform, because like Photoshop, for instance, Adobe's products and all the different vendors, they have to write code and driver, distinguish the driver coding for these units to make sure that they can are compatible with their software. So I would hold off. Great options. Maybe they're going to be a lower cost than some of the competitors.
Let the big boy gamers go out there and put them through their paces.
Yeah, they're definitely going to go through. I mean,
what do you think? Did they give a price? No, they did not.
They need to just make the price lower than AMD and NVIDIA if they're going to want to compete at the beginning.
But do you think they'll literally be able to compete with NVIDIA? I mean, NVIDIA has been around for a long. I mean, I know it's kind of funny. I was before all the prices started kind of trickling down. I was telling everybody, I was looking at, if you buy stock or you buy stuff like that, I'm like, go and buy NVIDIA, because it's going to do nothing but go up. And sure enough, it went exactly opposite of what I said. It dropped. I'm like, crap.
If this is any indication of AMD's APU, Intel's APU graphics, some of their onboard graphics that they used on the processors, they weren't all that, especially the Intel HD series and different Irish chipsets and stuff that came out. I don't think they're going to be that powerful. I think they're more going to be base, budget machines.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, that would make sense.
yeah, but budget machines. I mean, you could probably save $100 on a custom build, or some OEMs might be bringing out some $599 gaming desktops with graphics capabilities.
I mean, they're setting the bar pretty high, trying to come up against an RTX.
Yeah, when they say it stacks up against an RTX.
But it's talking about they're gonna physically pile crap on top of each other, because that 360 is
forget about it.
pretty damn
3060s,
badass.
3070s, 750 minimum power watt. Even though they say 650, I wouldn't even put that as a base point.
Can I ask a question about that? Can you overpower your machine?
No.
So if I'm getting stuff that's taking 760 and 500, can you put 1,000 watts in, a
Yes.
power supply in there just to handle everything
Yeah.
the right way?
Yes, because you don't want the voltage dips.
Okay, so having, I mean, if you do the math and you're putting your gaming computer together, or like us with streaming computers, and you go, oh, it's going to require 720 total. Putting a 750 in there is not a good idea. You need to put a 1,000 or,
Right.
or
I
1,200,
mean,
whatever they are.
You can go bigger because your machine's only going to pull what it's going to require. Okay, so it's like you're not force feeding it any. Now, if you went, like the voltages were higher,
Right.
than what they're meant to be, then
Right.
yes, that'd be a problem. But if you have the amperage on there, the machine's not going to use any more than it's asking for, and the
Okay.
power supply is going to be there during high demand. So if you have peak power, peak performance, and that power supply needs to put out that additional power, it's there. Say it ramps up and says, the machine all of a sudden draws 800 watts. If you have a 750 watt, well, obviously the machine's not going to be able to, utilize that additional power.
Now, when you plug in, like a lot of us, like my laptops, I'll plug my iPhone in there, or my iPad
Yes.
in there, or an external camera.
Additional accessories you need to account for.
Okay.
Not just the mere fact that and a lot of times people do builds, and the first thing they go is they look at the graphics processor and they say, okay, it requires 650 watts. So that's what they do. They put a 600, but they don't accommodate for what's the total wattage of their CPU.
Right.
And then additional accessories. Oh, somebody wants to build a video rig, and they want a massive storage, and they're using standard spinner drives, and they want to stick 5 or 6 drives in there. Each one of those drives account for power draw. So
Right.
If you put a underpowered power supply in there, and you start putting on these additional loads on it, you're going to find that the machine's going to either randomly reboot, get blue screens periodically, and just be unstable. So start with your, if you're gonna go big, of anything, start with your power supply. Even if you don't want to build a big machine right off the bat,
Right.
Start with a good power supply and a good motherboard, and then you can add to those at a later time. You want to change your graphics processor, you don't have to worry. You bought a 1660 today, and you want to put a 3070 in, and you have that baseline, you just dump it in, you're good to go.
Okay. I was wondering, because it's like you always think about, really, your power needs, and a lot of people forget the fact that they're going to plug their phones in, they're going to plug their tablets in, and plugging in a camera. I know, everybody's tired of me bitching about this, but just because you have a camera that comes in your laptop doesn't mean that's a good camera. Oh my God, it's there just in case you need something quick. If you're going to do a video, or you're going to do a conference call, you're going to do a Zoom, you're going to do a Skype or whatever, use a freaking nice, a webcam.
Yeah.
They're 4K and they're cheap. They're like $80, $90.
Exactly.
But your video will be so much better. We preach that. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess we could just go ahead and put that together as the same as, when you buy a graphics card. Maybe you don't want to buy this Intel graphics card.
Right?
It's like the camera on your laptop,
Yeah.
It does 3D graphics, but is it what you want?
Right. Now, I don't know if you put this in here or not, since we're on Microsoft and Intel. Microsoft starts testing a new Xbox Home UI that will arrive in arrives in 2023. Now, is this going to be on their Xbox and Xbox only, or is this a computer?
This is the Xbox.
So it is the Xbox.
Yeah, this is the Xbox. I mean, if you didn't know that the Xbox runs a modified version of Windows 10,
right.
anyways, even though it kind of looks like Windows 8 because of all the tiled boxes, but we won't go there. But yes, it uses a modified version of Windows 10, and it will also use different operating systems in the background when Microsoft updates these units.
I was getting ready to ask you, is this something that's going to be an upgrade, or you got to buy a new damn box?
No. This is going to be basically an operating system update.
How far back are they going to go?
Probably just to the Xbox One.
Okay.
And forward. That's the only ones they're going to probably support. I think the user interface is probably going to be built on top of a Windows 11. I wouldn't see why not. It just makes sense. And
that'll be a big download.
Yeah, not really, because they use a compressed version. Obviously they don't have to have all the drivers installed for all the devices. They don't have to. They
You don't get Cortana.
Well, you do.
Oh my God! Don't even say that.
But I believe hopefully they've taken some hints from the gaming community and made things easier. I think the user interface is just kind of like now. I've always thought Xbox user interface was kind of cumbersome, and it's slowly come together. But I hope they do make it a little bit easier to utilize. I've always thought it was just kind of like a hot mess. I don't know how some people can utilize it and function with it. But we'll see what happens. So be ready. When do they say they're releasing that one?
That is supposed to be in 2023. They don't tell you when.
Yeah, so
it's like the new Mandalorian movie. They tell you it's coming in 2023.
If it's launching in 2023, then most likely it's around January, February.
Oh, really? That early?
Or even
that quick?
Well, you know what? Most likely they're going to come out with a redesigned Xbox One X. Xbox.
Do you have one?
Series X. The series? No. I have Xbox One, but my son has the Series S, not the X.
Okay.
But I have noticed that the Series X's have been showing up in stores recently, and a lot of times they're only able to be purchased if you buy the Game Pass. That also includes basically you're paying for the Game Pass and leasing the Xbox for 24 or 12 to 24 months. And then once you're done paying that, you paid off your Xbox. So you walk in there, sign up with the lease agreement, and walk out with your Xbox. I don't want that. I'd rather just pay for it.
Okay. Well, I mean, good for them.
Maybe the user interfaces might mean that we're going to be seeing a different Xbox, probably smaller, a little bit more powerful APU. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And I would say you probably hear something down the pipes in probably about a month that they're releasing a smaller Xbox or something, or a redesign.
Yeah, I can't believe that they,
Yeah, the cube thing kind of.
They've always got to have something to be selling you.
Well, the first one's always, the first units, the first series that they ever come out with on the gaming consoles are always kind of weird looking. Look at PlayStation 5 for gosh sakes. I mean, it looks odd. Be on the lookout for that. What do we got next?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm responding to somebody.
Well, sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
so,
this is interesting.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. And I have something on top of this, too.
Okay, go ahead.
So
what are we talking about? We're talking about the Apple might have fixed the notch by putting it on an island.
Okay, the whole point, everybody was talking that iPhones were going to come out with the new notch. The notch was supposed to not be that big drop down, but be kind of like an oval shaped. They showed some devices with two little holes, and everybody was like, whining about it, saying that you might as well just either left it there or just make it one pill, or just people were talking about the design feature. But something was really awesome about when they started talking about it during the launch, that it's a dynamic little window now that functions as something. So instead of seeing a stationary pill or just a blacked out area of the screen. Now the areas and pixels around it can now function and move back and forth and black out. And I think that's a really cool feature because now you're always looking up there at it, and it's functional. It's functional space, And I think that's a really cool feature. And believe it or not,
yeah, it is weird that
we don't look at it now as anything except for the fact that it's just blacked out.
It's just there.
But now it's going to do something, which I think is a really cool feature. Make it come to life. And
well, it is weird to see video and imagery behind it, though.
Yeah. Well,
because you get the top of the screen. If you go, that's just if you go to the 14. This is not coming in 16.
No, this is
a 14 only.
Yeah, 14. The pro onlys right now.
Right.
So the two versions of the Pro will get this. The standard 14s are not going to get this.
Right. Correct.
And I will tell you that the reason why nobody really knew about this particular feature coming out when Apple launched was because they filed the patent in Jamaica.
Really?
See, in the country of Jamaica, I read that in order for these patent trolls that go out there and read what's happening, and so they can spill the beans to everybody about what's happening, and you can't go online and look up a patent being submitted by a corporation in the country.
Oh, they keep it hush hush.
Well, you have to, if you want to know what was just submitted, you have to be in the country. And you have to go to the service desk and ask the government for, paperwork in regards to what was just submitted.
Right.
And so without that, ease of access like on the internet and stuff, nobody knew. So that was a cool little feature that I think was, wow, everybody's like, wow, that's a pretty cool thing. And I don't know about you, but, everybody's out there complaining about, oh, well, the iPhone 13 and the 14 is the exact same processor and stuff.
No.
Yes and no. Okay? It is and it isn't. Okay? Yes, it may have the same CPU to a degree, but they did add an additional core on the GPU end. So graphics-wise, it does have more power there.
It is still the A15.
Yeah, it's still the A15 with an additional core for the graphics processor.
And 6 gigabytes of memory.
And people don't seem to understand that additional RAM inside that device allows you to open more windows and do more things at one time.
But why would you do that?
Well, you know what? if you have a web browser open and you got a FaceTime call and then you start texting somebody and then you swipe while you're in your FaceTime call to check out Facebook and stuff, all those things and apps are open in the background. And the more apps and things that are open in the background, the slower your device goes. And it doesn't matter how fast your processor is. It's not going to do you any good. And once you start running out of space, now the device has to compensate and try to change up what's happening. And there's where you get, your processor starts running faster, which drains battery power, which means that, you're going to start heating up the device. So, and believe it or not, for a company that has to build their own processor, okay, technically every 6 months.
Right.
Then why not release that new processor for 2 generations? Now we're using the A15.
Yep.
Oh, say if you had the iPhone 13 Pro.
I don't know if Rob, can you grab my desktop? I've got something on. I'm going to show the comparison chart here for the 13 and 14.
Yeah, and
unless you have it for imagery, I don't know if you do or not.
If you have like the 13, for instance, the A15 on the iPhone 13 Pro, it came out the A15, and it was only available on the Pros, okay, because the 13 had the A14, the standard one had the A14, but only the Pros came out with the A15. Well, now here you got 6 months of the Pros being released with that new processor. Right. Then you reuse that processor for the next generation. Right. Okay? Now you've got a chance to get through all those old processors, phones that people haven't bought yet. You haven't built, if you're smart on your marketing, on your builds and stuff like that, and don't overbuild too many devices, you still have processors and GPUs for the next generation. Right. So now you just do some small tweaks, add those to the next lineup, but only release the new processors For the Pro version, you can go ahead and give enough devices out to the masses, okay? You cut down on a loss of inventory that you've made and already pre-purchased.
Right, yeah.
And those processors can last a little longer. And that, they basically end up generating more revenue without having to raise the price of the phone.
Right.
Because now there's not all that money going into R&D, retooling, things like that.
Rob's going to bring up the comparison here, and it's like, so it's 4 core versus 5 core, 4 gig versus 6 gig, dual camera system, advanced dual camera system. I think this is just for the straight 14. It's not the 14 Pro or the 14 Pro Max. 12. Here's where it's something kind of weird. The 12 megapixel main camera with 1.6 aperture. Well, on the new cameras, it's 1.5 aperture with a larger sensor. Okay. 12 front facing camera is 2.2 aperture, but it's a 1.9, but it's got an autofocus. So I guess they went backwards and said, okay, we'll go backwards, but we'll give it autofocus. I kind of get that. Then the cinematic mode, you can go, right now, because you're right on the Pro Max, I can do 4K, but on the normal 13s, you can only do 1080 at 30 frames per second. But now you can do the cinematic mode recording with 4K HDR up to 30 frames per second. The words HDR, the acronym HDR always gets me because it means it's a dumbed up version. It's not true high def resolution.
You know what? HDR really just looks like a change in the gamma on.
That's exactly what it is, right?
All of a sudden the colors are a little bit more vivid.
Yeah.
HDR.
And you get 20 hours battery life for video playback instead of 19, so you get another hour. The thickness is kind of the same. Well, actually thicker, just a little bit. But it's really nothing detrimental. The weight is lighter.
The emergency SOS via satellite, I think, is a really.
We're going to get into that article because I think that's kind of cool. That they're going to start this whole trend, right? I don't know if that's the next. Let me see if that's our next thing. No, it's on down the thing, but yes.
You know where they're going with this, right?
Yes, sat phone.
Not just that, but pretty soon they're going to knock out the carriers. Why have a carrier when you can just go to Apple?
Right.
They can bring everything in house. So that's going to be something that's going to come down the road, and I guarantee Apple's going to be there.
Here we go. We're going to jump down to number 9 real quick because that right there is literally so. Apple's iPhone 14 satellite link puts it up against SpaceX and others. Because you're going to be able to get this right now. It's just emergency, right?
Right.
So now if you're out in the middle of the woods, if you're a camper,
right.
This is where I see it happening. If you're a camper and you're out in the middle of the woods and you got no signal, well, now you can send an SOS via satellite.
It's a game changer because you already know that they try to search for people out there in the woods and stuff by people's cell signals.
Right, pinging.
They try to ping it. Well, if there's nothing around, there's nothing to ping, and you can't ping the phone anymore. So this is a great feature now where you can ping the phone via satellite and keep everybody up to date. And I noticed that there was a feature in there. They're saying that you can text, but in order to use it, the phone will basically ask you questions. That way, because it takes so long for the signal to come back and forth.
Right.
The phone is going to ask you some general questions. Are you hurt? Do you need an ambulance? Do you need this?
Right.
And send all that information in one text about the person, so that way the emergency services can get to you and respond in a more efficient manner instead of you texting back and forth. Right. Help! I need help. What's wrong? 5 minutes later. I broke my leg and I'm stuck in a gully. 5 minutes later. Do you need medical services?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Let's get all the information to them really quick. You answer the questions. Boom, send it off. The software does everything.
And they're going to use as partner with they partnered with Global Star, which is a satellite phone provider as it is, and it's running on band in 53 and 53. That way, it's pretty. I'm hoorah for Apple.
Yeah.
You know, because that takes you know, you're the first one stepping out there going, eventually we may not need towers.
No, we can track.
But have you
everybody.
ever talked on a satellite phone?
No.
Dude, the delay is horrible.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's my only concern is the fact that you know, I watch a show called Expedition Bigfoot, and they have a sat phone, and they make it sound like they're just talking like boom, 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 boom. It's just not that. That's not the way it works. I mean, and it's not minutes, but it's seconds.
Yeah.
Before you can get the response back and forth, because again, you're going up,
kinda
you're
like a
bouncing.
walkie-talkie.
Exactly. Remember Nextel?
Yeah.
Kind of like Nextel. Sometimes it's not immediate. I'm just saying. But good for. I mean, this is really going to be awesome. I'm kind of hoping they really take this a long way. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know there's a Space Mobile hopes to use satellite to phone communications for 4G, 5G internet, planning on deploying a test satellite at the end of.
Well, Elon is talking.
Right.
He kind of said, "Hey, you guys really doing that? Let me get in on this
Starlink,
thing."
right?
Yeah. And that would be a cool feature because but then again, that would require Starlink to. T-Mobile already talked to Starlink.
Right.
And I know what that is. That's basically we're gonna stick a tower in an area that has no internet, and we're gonna have a Starlink satellite just provide the cell tower with the internet needed for it to give it a backbone to the network. That's all.
I talked to a company 10 years ago that wanted us to create some videos for them, and I think it's called Red Star or something like that. And they were literally going to put these sat towers all over the world, like, you know, areas where they just don't have internet. And basically, it's what Elon's doing now. And then they were going to launch 7 satellites. And as the satellites turn, they pop those, they hit those. And it was going to be timed so no tower was ever out of sync for more than 4 minutes, ever. That was the worst case. But they were doing it where, so as one came around and it started to lose, the new one picked up.
Right,
And they had calculated seven fairly large, not the little small ones like Elon's doing. They just never got the funding, and now all of a sudden Elon's going, "Hey, let me show how that's done." Of course, you know,
we just create a mesh network up.
You don't know why the aliens won't come here? It's because they can't get through the damn traffic.
They can't get through the trash.
And the ones that are here are stuck here like, well, crap. I tried to get out, but I bounced off a damn satellite. Elon, you're killing me. But here's another one. Since we're already into the Mac world, the Apple world, let me watch TV on my Apple Watch Ultra. Dude, this is so Dick Tracy. Everything we're doing right now with the watches is so Dick Tracy.
The new Apple Watch Ultra I will say, that looked pretty darn cool. Did you get a chance to see it?
I watched a little of it. I was trying to do, so here's the thing.
He was trying to do 3 things at once.
I was, because I had one computer I had running the Apple event, and then on the other one I had the D23 event going, because that is a lot of, you know, that's because, you know, NerdQuest, the TV show, because we have a NerdQuest cafe, and now we have NerdQuest, the TV show. Well, that starts, actually we're going to start filming tomorrow, and we're bringing that show back, so I'm having to do, and then I'm trying to watch normal television because, you know, a glutton for punishment. But the only thing about this one that I don't know if I can get behind is the fact that now I'm watching TV on a smaller screen.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm on this for a couple hours,
right,
then my eyes have a focus issue. So I can't get back to. So if I watch this, I can't. If I'm on this all the time, I can't get on this, and then on that, I can't see it all.
Under normal circumstances,
no one's going to watch it all.
Who's going to be like this?
Nobody.
You know, your arm is going to get so tired.
Yeah.
Unless you plan on taking your watch off and putting.
I just think they should go back to the glasses, and you're done. You know, just turn your glasses on. You sit back, and you can watch everything there. But you know what's going to happen is your mom's right. You're going to go blind. Stand that close to the TV, you're going to go. But it is cool. You know, don't get me wrong.
And the funny thing is, everybody was talking about Apple releasing a new watch, and the first thing they came out with is going to be over $1,000. And
yeah, I have a like that was my next thing. I could spend $800 to $1,000 in much better places to watch TV.
yeah,
Just saying.
oh well, the Apple Watch Ultra does a lot more, especially
Well, yeah.
especially if you like camping, outdoors, things like that. I mean, the battery life on it looks like it's going to be phenomenal.
Right.
Number one, it looks very rugged. If I'm not mistaken, when I was watching, it looked like not only did they have the LCD, but they also put the sapphire glass over the top
Yeah.
of the device. So basically, you have two screens, like a screen protector already. So you know
Right.
how like most of the rugged watches, you crack the outer glass. You know what I mean?
Dude,
And it's perfectly fine still.
Yep.
That's exactly how the Apple Watch Ultra looks.
I hate to find out what it's going to cost to change that glass out, though.
Oh, forget about it. The more the
You might as well
technology
buy another
increases, the
one.
more expensive. Well, you know what? On top of this and everything being said and being done, Apple is also upgrading their Apple Care. So before you used to be able to have Apple Care was a 3-year program,
But only 1 or 2 fixes.
1 or 2 fixes. Now it is going to be unlimited, which is great because now you got a real, accident protection policy. And I don't care. Nobody can compare to the Apple's Apple Care. If you're the kind of person that drops your device the minute you take it out of the box and ruin it, then you might as well get Apple Care.
Do you remember the Seiko TV watch?
No, but,
I had one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Seiko did that a long time ago. I had that.
What is that?
I thought that was.
There was a little
freaking-
tuner on top.
Yes,
of it?
there was a little tuner on top.
So basically, they just used the LCD screen as a regular receiver.
Yep.
And they just dumped the tuner on top. Couldn't make a tuner small enough, but
Nope.
that is pretty cool.
I had that, and that was my mother was furious when I bought that because
Well,
I
you
had.
remember when Fossil was coming out with those
yeah,
smartwatches?
yeah.
Those,
Everybody thought they were stupid.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be any good. And, dude, 2003, I started streaming live video, and people thought I was a nutball. I'm like, you're going to be watching this on your phones, there's going to be computers, and
Yep.
there's all this. You're going to be able to do it, and people are like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, okay.
No.
Now look at us.
Yeah. Now everybody does it.
Everybody's
And the worst thing is when I love how technology changes and integrates itself so fluidly into people's lives that they forget that it wasn't that long ago that you weren't able to do this, and this, and then people just think of it as second nature and take for granted what we're capable of doing today.
Right. So let's jump off of Apple for a while. Let's talk about Elon.
Oh boy,
Dude, he is totally trying to get out of this freaking Twitter thing.
Well, the economy's not where it was. His Bitcoin and Dogecoin ambitions took a dump. His company didn't do very well in that because of it. So it's just makes sense to get out of it. So any way to get out of it.
Well, I mean, so that's what happens is when some acquisition like this happens, people go in and find out, you flush out, going, oh, well, I didn't have that. You don't have that many Twitter people because half of it was fake, or a quarter of it was fake. Now all of a sudden they're paying off people that should never got payoffs that they should have gotten, retirement settlements and stuff like that. So he's sitting there going, yeah, you guys are trying to clean all the crap out, and it's just you're seeing more fake and more fake and more fake and more fake, and he's like, I'm done, I'm out. But good for him. I granted I was kind of wanting him to do it, but
the other reason for the Twitter was the technology that's behind it. I mean, look how many people, even if it is bots, that are pinging that software, and that thing just keeps it going.
Right.
Just imagine that database just running for all the Tesla vehicles out there.
Right.
So it's a great idea, but
So you're a cruiser boy.
Yeah, I like
like
cruising.
cruises. We're going to jump down, Rob. We're going to talk about Royal Caribbean is putting the SpaceX Starlink on its cruise ship. Because if you have ever been on a cruise ship,
oh yeah,
and tried to use their Wi-Fi, it sucks.
It sucks, and not only that, for the money you spend,
it should not suck that much.
It should not suck. No,
Exactly.
Not in this day and age.
No, but what a great way to. So I had a choice in the RV. I could have went with with his Starlink system, right, or T-Mobile's in-house
the
5G,
right.
The router. It's a monster, right? So I went with T-Mobile because I figured First of all, I'm camping. I really don't need internet. But if I do need internet, like if it rains and I want to watch TV, I can, right? So far it's not letting me down. We might get T-Mobile as a corporate thing for us, so that way if we don't go buy it yet, wait for me to say yes or no, because that way I want to try to support the channel as much as possible. But still, what a great way for the cruise lines to all jump on board on this, so they can actually have decent internet.
Believe it or not, it was the FCC was blocking it at the time.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, when Elon was launching Starlink, he had wanted to be able to have mobile services and stuff like that, and the FCC said no.
Good old FCC. How can the FCC control the whole world? They can't. I understand America. Again, you have all the rights here, but once those get out,
they couldn't do it. They couldn't do these put these commercially. And then I guess the cruise company and Royal Caribbean, for instance, basically stressed, hey, let us give us a pass. You know what I mean? Let us try it out as a contingency, and we'll let you tell us how it works. Or tell you how it works and stuff. So they finally allowed, a special rule for them to allow them to put it on cruise ships. Which again, this is a game changer because, it's not like cruise ships are really cruising that fast.
Right.
The ships itself. Starlink should be able to stay connected. Very well.
So I don't know if Rob can bring. Hey, Rob, can you bring up the world's ocean map where it's got coverage? Look at this. So. Right now, it's only got coastal areas like of the U.S. and over in England and blah blah blah. But when you get down into the lower, let me see if I can do my mouse right here. No coverage, right? You got coverage down here, kinda. So, but they say by Q1 2023, they're going to have most of the world's oceans will be covered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looks like they have it covered, the light blue rings out, so many miles out. And I don't understand why that would be, because it's not that like the satellite is still not above the middle of the ocean. So why service?
Well, that might be the band. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would say that would be the path that the satellites are taking.
Right.
But if you look, you're only coming out maybe 50 miles from shore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the coverage line that you have.
Right.
So I'm thinking what they're doing is the satellites basically stop transmitting as they cover the ocean area, and then turn back on. Mm-hmm. The only problem with that is it doesn't make sense why you can't just, if they're just broadcasting, just leave them turned on. And,
right.
Unless it has something to do with
stop trying to be cheap.
It's something to do with regulations, I bet, or international maritime law or something.
Maritime.
So, but that's going to be cool. That is going to be really cool, and I can't wait to. It's too bad they put it on some of the most expensive boats.
Speaking of space, NASA's going to crash a spacecraft into an asteroid.
Well, we should have done that a long time ago. We did it in the movies. We could have did it in real life by now.
Did they crash it or did they drill?
Okay, we drilled, but still.
No, they did try to crash one.
Did
remember?
They? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel better now.
That's when Morgan Freeman was the president.
But yeah, I mean that's going to be how big is the satellite? How big is the asteroid we are going to try to crash into?
Let me see if it says.
It's the size of a baseball.
Yeah, probably.
You know what? I don't care. They everything.
It doesn't say.
When it comes to asteroids, everything's the size of a bus or a motorhome.
Well,
it's probably a bit bigger than that.
It's probably a little bit bigger than that.
But it doesn't take much for us to throw something off of its trajectory. A small push in outer space can result in miles and miles and miles of distance and a change in its course. And who knows? It's most likely going to work.
They got to be careful because we don't need another moon.
Yeah, they could just push it right into the path of destruction, or they could, push it way out there and end up killing another alien civilization that we never got a chance to find.
How dare us, thinking we're the only intelligent life in this wide,
Have we even
universe.
thought about the ramifications of pushing that space rock 3 millimeters?
Jesus.
We will wipe out a whole.
Well, it's kind of funny. They call it the DART.
The dart.
The DART. The DART's going to go out September 26th.
Now, is it just going to, using just mere force, or is
Yep.
it going to be a
Nope.
detonation on it?
Nope, just pure force.
Oh, just literally just, hit it with a dart and see what
See what happens.
And then they accidentally realize that they hit it and it goes right through it like butter.
Oops. It's like, oh, now it's coming our way. We're in trouble.
It
Shit,
eats the
that
dart.
didn't work out right.
It eats the dart.
Yeah. It's like, got anything else? Got anything else, man? Because it's all good. Man, we're going through these here.
We already talked about breaking your Apple device with AppleCare.
Yeah, we did. But you know what? Here's a good one. Tim Cook revealed the reason Apple won't fix green bubbles.
Nobody wants it fixed.
Nobody wants it fixed.
Well, I mean, it's annoying, yes, because you can't send an Android user certain things, but
Right.
at the same time, I think most Apple users really don't care.
There's always that one guy that runs the text string.
Yeah,
With the green
You
bubble.
got the group
Green
text,
bubble.
Group text going. Everybody's getting all happy, and then you got this green bubble. Bloop, and you're like, all right, get them out, folks.
They just literally. I love what I'm trying to find exactly what he says because he says because I don't want to.
Yeah, and technically you shouldn't have to. I mean, there is no reason for it. It's iMessage. The iPhone can do standard texting. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not gone. So there really is no reason for them to have to do any kind of changes to the way they do their communications. It's worked, and it continues to work. And I think Android is just getting to the point where their biggest issue is their system's still fragmented. And you think by now that, Google would have figured it out, that not every device manufacturer out there is doing what they're supposed to with the software and the operating system. And because of the changes and stuff and the way, some devices get updates, some don't, you have to get rid of them a lot sooner and things like that. And then they put all their additional products on there, and load up the software. I think it's probably just Google and Samsung saying.
So let me read this.
We don't like being different.
At Vox Media's Code Conference, an attendee told Cook that it was difficult for him to send videos to his mom because Apple devices don't support RCS, a texting protocol championed by Google, support their major phone. Cook in response said to buy your mom an iPhone.
Right.
And this is but ultimately he said this, I don't hear our users asking that we put a lot of energy on it at this point. That's what Cook said.
And why would an Apple user, for instance, that'd be like, an Android user saying, "Oh, I want the hardware the iPhone has, or I want this, or I want that." It doesn't.
So you're telling me I would tell the kids. So you're telling me you're okay with paying for an iPhone for yourself, but not your mom? She's not that important,
right? I mean, it's not like they don't make lower cost devices to be able to purchase.
That's correct.
And you have the iPhone SE, but the thing is, the phones are the same across the ecosystem, and a lot of carriers give the phone away for free.
Right.
So what's the problem?
I know.
That's just stupid. That's like, oh, my car gets 10 miles to the gallon. No, my car gets 20 miles. Well, why can't you get more mileage on that car? Doesn't make any sense. My wife is spending more money on gas than I am. We can't have the same. Well, then get the same.
Right. Everybody wants to be the same. I don't want to be like anybody else.
If I like this, then I like this. You like that? You like that.
Speaking of cars.
Ooh.
Ready for this? The shift to electric vehicles is about to overwhelm the meager U.S. mining operations.
Well, of course.
So not only do we not have the material until
the world doesn't have the material.
Until we have a new battery, this is my point on electric cars or electric anything. I mean, I do want a scooter, or actually I want a bicycle. I want the one electric bikes. Mm-hmm. Until we find a better battery solution, the Earth is not sustainable with what we need to do it now. Because if you ever seen these lithium mines, it is horrible. I mean, it's gaping holes. It's just like everybody trying to go get gold, right? So, and then you run into the issues just like in California, just a couple days ago, where one day they mandated, or they put it in law by 2032, I think it is.
Right.
You can't sell any more gasoline engines in California. But the next day they said, oh, wait a minute, we're having a power issue. Don't plug your cars in. And now they're telling people don't plug your TVs in.
You know,
That's how bad it is. So you can't, let's get something sustainable.
Right. Well,
right?
not just sustainable. If the car runs on a battery and you already know that you have issues with getting enough product out there and being able to, being able to have your battery life last for a long time. And the main thing that drives that technology is in short demand and short supply and has its own issues. Why not resolve that issue first before mandating or saying, let's go gung-ho? We all knew the technology was capable of sustaining and doing what it needs to do. Then why don't, the base fix the base, fix the technology it needs to run on. And
I know Elon Musk is trying to, he's trying to develop a new battery, which we need anyway, because first of all, I love those videos where the people are taking the lithium batteries, opening them up, dropping into water, and the explosion is unsurmountable. It is huge. One little pack like this, right? I think it's like a 15 square foot or 15. It's amazing how much damage those can do. And that's why they tell you they don't want lithium batteries on air flights.
Right.
Because if they get moist, heaven forbid, boom.
Yeah,
but everybody's carrying. I mean, this is lithium right here.
I don't know if you've watched there's a company. I don't know. You heard of Edison Motors?
I have heard of Edison Motors.
You see these guys taking a semi, and they're putting they've built a semi and retrofitted it with Tesla motors on the drive line. They installed a Caterpillar generator, diesel generator, and they have lithium-ion batteries on it. But the diesel generator is literally just there to charge the batteries and put out enough power to also power the electric motors. We already do it today in trains. We do it in a lot of things that people don't really realize. There's a dump truck, for instance, the world's largest dump truck that runs has just a generator and electric motors on the wheels.
Right.
Very powerful, and that they're.
I've got a picture of it up now, Rob. It is amazing.
And there's no more planned obsolescence, and people were. I've been watching this company as they've been going along, and it's funny, people are like, why don't you just build your own stuff? No, why? The semi industry's been around for how long? You can go into Napa Auto Parts, for instance, and all the standard brakes, air ride system, air control, everything is already there for all the semis and rigs that are out there in the world. And a lot of parts are interchangeable. Stick a generator on that thing, slap some batteries on it, and you're good to, and an electric motor, you're good to go.
So there's these guys. I'm the one that was preaching against TikTok. Now I'm on TikTok and I'm watching. but I do more technology on there than I do anything.
Yeah, you can learn. You can learn a lot.
There are guys out there that are building these perpetual motors. Once you get them started, so you will need a source to get them spinning. But once they spin, you take off the source, and it just keeps running. It's an alternator being driven by a magnetic system or something like that. And I've been watching this guy now for probably 3 months, and he says once he got it started, he never shut it off. It runs by itself, completely self-contained. Because you got one pulley doing your alternator, producing power. So if you can do that, why can't we make electric cars like that? Once you get them that first start.
Yeah, but the car is always going to end up eventually needing more power than it's capable of generating.
Well, it depends on the size of the alternator.
True. But then the size of the alternator also requires larger output.
Well, unless you got a car. But no, leave the batteries in there so that's constantly charging those batteries. But once you get going,
I will say that electric motors are more efficient. They produce more torque from the get-go. You don't have to wind them up in order for them to put out the amount of power that, say, for instance, a regular engine would be capable of, the horsepower. Horsepower, if it's rated at 60 horse, the minute you hit that accelerator, it's already putting out its maximum torque. It's done.
Right.
So you don't have to rev it up. So they're more power efficient. We just need to get a way to store the energy needed to run them, and that's it.
So here's, I think we have time for this one here. United Airlines is planning to launch air taxis costing $100 per ride.
It's pretty snazzy.
They're drones, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to be drone-like?
Who's gonna pilot them? Are they gonna pilot themselves?
I don't know. Well, here's
via app.
No, there's probably. It looks like there's a seat in there for a pilot if you look at it close enough. But here's the thing: we can't get enough pilots now.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine this? We can fast track you through pilot license school.
Yeah, you can drive a little bitty death machine. It's awesome.
Yay!
But they're but I mean that's not bad. Designed to have a range. So yes, they're electric, and then they have a range of 40 to 60 miles. But it's $100 per passenger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, per passenger.
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty cool though. I mean, it's all.
I don't know what. Considering an Uber on the ground already costs $75 and only shaves 35 minutes. I don't know where these guys are getting Uber at, but that's a lot of money for an Uber. Well, unless they're doing, long distance.
Well, remember too, especially if there's like not a lot of Uber drivers because of coming into an airport or something like that. Or say you wanted to fly from here to Tampa Airport, so you can
Okay.
That could. I mean,
it only costs that's $45, by the way.
Oh, it's 45.
I know exactly what it costs.
But what happens if it's the max, whatever they call that feature, where there's not enough drivers and they have to jack up the price?
They do that anyway.
Yeah, they do that anyway. So you can't guarantee your price.
We took a Uber XL, which means it was a large vehicle, and we had our luggage in the back, so we were flying out. And with tip cost me $65. I guess 75 is not wrong.
Yeah, so that's. But I mean, if you're a business person, you got to write
$100.
$100, yeah,
that's nothing.
If you're gonna land on the, my front porch and drop.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you got to meet them somewhere, or are they gonna come to you like a drone?
They should. They should come to you.
Yeah, right in your driveway. I don't know if that'll fit though. I don't know.
I don't know. The blades don't look like they're very big.
No, they don't.
That's a good possibility.
I'd like to see other pictures of it, but there's no other pictures of it. But because I'd like to see the width and all that kind of stuff. But hey, they must think it's good because they bought 200 of them.
Wow, they're probably going to be in major metropolitan areas.
See, it's the Air Mobility to purchase 200 air taxis and the possibility of purchasing 200 more. So they're looking to get 400, and they're going to start this in 2026. And it's going to initially start in Chicago, New York. And where's the other one? I guess that's it for right now. Yeah, that's a good area to let's start.
You know what? I got it. You know where they're gonna partner with all major hospital systems and use their helipad.
Oh, there you go.
And then you basically you can have your car.
Yeah.
Drive your car there. Yeah. Pay for parking.
Yep.
Hey, Advent Health. Guess what?
True.
I mean, the helipad's not used all the time.
No, it's not.
So hey, land it. Take off with your peeps. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just put in there if we have an emergency, you need to get your thingamabob out of my way. So I think that would be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think we got through our whole dang list today.
Wow, folks.
If you didn't get a chance
we
to go,
too fast.
If you didn't get a chance to go to the Apple event, go watch it now because I'm telling you, I couldn't keep up.
We're not done.
Oh no.
No, I'm sorry, folks. Just to let you know, if you decided that you're not buying the new iPhone yet, or you want a sneak peek at what it's going to look like, and you already have an Apple device. Today is the release of iOS 16.
Oh, that's right.
I don't believe it's up yet, John. Probably not till about 1 o'clock.
I'm looking right now.
Or 2 o'clock.
I'm going to look right now. I'm going to go right now. Software update.
We're checking right now,
Nope,
folks.
not
Hold
yet.
on. No, it's not
Not
there.
yet.
We're still on 15.6.1.
Yeah.
But yes, the iOS 16 is going to be released today. So you can update your, and I believe there's also updates for Apple TV,
Yes.
iPad OS, and your Apple iPhone iOS. So go ahead and catch that update. Don't be scared. It's
Don't
not the
be
end of the
scared.
world if there's a little hiccups and stuff like that. There's going to be an
Hick 'em
update
up.
to fix it. It's, everybody gets stressed out during update day, but I always get messages.
I went to look to get the, what do you call that? The test program. I want to get in there to be able to run it, because the one feature that I'm looking forward to is Androids can already do this, but you can go in, you can take a snap. Say you're on a beach, you take a snap, a picture, and there's 2 or 3 other people around you, and you don't want them in your picture. You're supposed to be able to go in there and scrub them away. I know there's apps for that, but this will actually allow you to do it in the
Think about
photos.
it. Think about it, John. You're a developer in the App Store. You create an app that's really, ultra cool.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it gets released into the iOS system.
Oh, it's going to suck for you.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Why do you think they have that program? Why do they keep it a closed loop system?
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching today. We appreciate it. We will be back next week. I don't think there's anything special coming. So, Tech
maybe.
Shamans at area52tv.com. All you got to do is just send me an email, or we'll get an email to him if there's something you want us to look at or play with, the whole 9 yards. I think we are going to start having a segment now. We're going to have a gadget segment.
Yes.
So if we find stuff that we really like, and then look forward to coming we're going to do an Amazon thing where if we like something, we'll let you get it through Amazon to help support the show. We'll be back next week. See you later. Have a techie week.